If I was to sum up last year in 3 words, it'd probably be unbelievable, crazy, nerve-wracking, I'd say. Just a bit intimidating, sort of walking to the changing room with the big sort of superstars like Özil and Sanchez, and then walk onto the Emirates with 70-odd thousand people cheering you. I was back at Bolton for the first 2 weeks of pre-season. Once we'd been relegated, I sort of disappointing, and then it was just preparing myself for a year in League One. The last game of the season, obviously, that's when we had heard about the interest from Arsenal, which I didn't know how it was going to go, and then I had the off-season until eventually the Arsenal move went through, and then ended up at Arsenal. The game against Liverpool was quite an eye-opener into the Premier League, how I thought first half we were strong and dealt with everything that they threw at us. And then in the first sort of 20 minutes of the second half, they just upped it.
Adam Lallana, and he scores! Drills one in, it's a goal! What a goal!
I sort of took it as we had the next game like sort of a week later, which was good. It wasn't like a long break for me to play again. I was straight back in to play the next week, which was Leicester away. You know, they were the reigning champions at the time, so to get a 0-0 draw and a clean sheet against them was a positive for me to take into the next game, which was Watford, and then we obviously won that 3-1. Played a couple of sort of cup games in the Capital One Cup and FA Cup games that were sort of the target really, the odd Prem game, and mainly more the cup competitions I'd get my game time. There was times in training where Steve Boulder would pull me in and just say, my body shape should have been slightly different, or should have been in a slightly different position. Then we'd go through it after the training on the cameras, and I think that was stuff that helped me towards sort of getting back into the team, and obviously keep working hard in training and keeping my fitness up, ready for if I was needed, which ended up being needed with the change of formation. To get that run at the end of the season, I think it was 9 games in total. At the end of the season in the Prem was just a big, massive bonus for the end of that year. When you're playing week in, week out, you do feel more part of the team, sort of involved. Not that I wasn't part of the team, but it's just slightly different when you're playing week in, week out, and the lads are sort of relying on you to not make any mistakes.
It's make or break at Wembley for a place in the Emirates FA Cup final.
The City game was probably my favourite game of last season, just because of it being against Manchester City.
And it's finished by an unlikely goal scorer. Nacho Monreal has equalised for Arsenal. Özil curls in the corner, headed in by Holding. Shelly heads it down, Welbeck can't score, but Alexis Sanchez can!
I had a load of my friends were in the City end at Wembley, and they were all texting me before the game saying good luck, but I hope you lose, sort of thing. But yeah, that was probably my favourite game and the most nervous game as well, I'd say. That game obviously was a massive game, and it was Pires' first game of the season. We were just slot inside, but I'd done a lot of work with Per when we both weren't playing, so we were sort of always together on the training ground, training together. So it was sort of like, it wasn't like an unknown person alongside me, it was someone I knew quite well. I sort of felt like he was always there behind me. If I made a mistake or someone got past me, then he was there to sweep up, and likewise if he was outdone and someone got past him, I felt like I was there on his side to cover him, which I think let us both play with a freedom. I think that's sort of the solidarity that you need, and we had to grit and bear it towards the end of the game to just keep the win.
Can Arsenal respond? And they have immediately! Who said 13 was an unlucky number? Arsenal win the FA Cup for the 13th time.
That's what we wanted.
I can't believe how fast it had gone. Like, to say I'm starting my second year now at Arsenal, it only seems like yesterday that I was just signing and I was sat in a room like this doing sort of my first interview. So it has gone crazy, and hope it continues.
Come on, you Gooners, subscribe.